front-loading team was a collection of friends who were reacting to a climate movement that was powerless. And these friends got together for about a year and crafted a new strategy that actually challenged power and wanted it and wanted to create a powerful movement. And they were all grounded in that struggle. But nonetheless, crafting a movement out of thin air at a time that was really hard left some people with blind spots. The team was predominantly white and predominantly middle or upper middle class, and this team looks entirely different. We have a team that's a majority of people of color, majority working class and poor. But not only that, we have people with other experiences, upper middle class, and a variety of experiences that are different to each other. And so as we tackle really, really big strategic questions that our movement has to grapple with, a lot of people bring in the experiences that they've had, which are fundamentally different from each other, and that, creates conflict and that creates argument.
Yeah, so the things that I want to transform most in Sunrise culture, there are a couple things. I think one of them is our culture around conflict. Like, there's this quote, conflict is the spirit of the relationship, like asking itself to deepen, and organizing is about relationships. And I feel like in the work I've done in the Chicago Hub, like in the national organizing, we just keep running into conflict, and conflict is inevitable. Have to stop avoiding it when you're putting a bunch of people from different places in the country, from different class backgrounds, from different racial backgrounds, together. There's going to be conflict. Conflict is rooted in difference. And how do we shift our attitude and perspective about conflict? Conflict has destroyed movements, and I'm I don't want to be in the lineage of movements who have been destroyed and haven't been able to build power because they couldn't get along with each other. So I think the first one is a cultural shift around the role of conflict in our work. I think a second one is just our culture around organizing and having a stronger craft around what it means to organize. I look to labor and union groups who are just the level of craft from organizing is incredible. And I think I want a stronger culture in Sunrise where we are building a generation of young organizers who can bring people together, organize their communities, and win shit.
Yeah, so one piece of it I think is just that good old fashioned community organizing, which I think Sunrise can be a little rusty in, and really I really want to see that scaled up. I really want to see every hub deeply embedded in their communities. It's my part of my self-interest in this. And then also when I started the Sunrise Hub, city, very poor, very, very Spanish speaking, very lots of things that Sunrise wasn't equipped to support. And I just remember feeling really alone, as me and my other hub leaders and co-coordinator struggled to figure out how to navigate this. How do we use Sunrise tools with people who don't speak English? How do we support working class folks to stay active in our hub? We figured some things out. We made a lot of mistakes along the way, a lot of mistakes. And I think I just I want to bring those orientations to be able to support other hubs so other hub leaders don't feel alone as they try to navigate those spaces too.
Yes, we have been talking a lot about particularly decentralized campaigns. I think one reflection we have is that in the past we've called a lot of things decentralized that maybe aren't quite decentralized, and that the new definition we're working with for decentralized campaigns is that you are actually able to win or lose in your city or in your state, not necessarily as a whole movement. So for example, the Green New Deal resolution, if you win your campaign against, Ilhan Omar signed on, but she's my rep, so Ilhan Omar, then that's great, but the resolution doesn't pass unless however many other people win their campaigns. We've been talking a lot about decentralized campaigns with potentially local demands as a key way to build a more multiracial and cross-class base, as a way to actually start winning things and let people imagine themselves in the Green New Deal. And I think when you have a decentralized campaign, that creates a decentralized strategy, which allows the structures to then follow to be decentralized as well. I think one key thing is that is sometimes a misconception is like decentralization requires more structure, not less, because actually the act of being like, yes, like form strategy where you are requires a lot of support and like not wanting to be like, oh, decentralization just means like hands off. I feel really, I think one of the biggest challenges as we launch is going to be like figuring out how to do the depth of like leadership development and coaching and training that our entire movement, including us, like need in order to like execute this big vision, is going to be really key to decentralizing our DNA and to decentralizing our strategy.
I think what's so interesting is I think I was surrounded by people who like innately felt empowered to organize and who had been organizing for a while when I joined Sunrise, and I was like, I have no skills, I have no idea what to do, I have no idea how to seed a hub, and I like joke that my hub in Lexington had like 3 inaugural hub meetings before we finally had a hub a year later. And I think one, there are so many people out there who have ideas and power and know what their community needs and don't have skills and supports. And I think just providing I feel excited to reimagine how we provide the on-ramp to people, and then how we support hubs to actually run really badass campaigns in their communities and take ownership of like, my city needs a Green New Deal. And I think there are so many hubs out there that are, and I also feel excited for so many more to be able to do that and to feel empowered to do that.
I think in front loading, we're starting to build the blueprint for how we accomplish that in the next 5 years. Yeah. And it's like building off of some of the learnings of like, I don't think Sunrise 1.0 front loaded enough strategy for what hubs do locally. And like, I've been in the Chicago hub and it's like, what do we do? Like, we don't want to wait for direction from national, but like, we don't know the best way that we like aid in the fight for a Green New Deal. And so I think we have way more clarity in the next iteration of Sunrise on like the threads and layers of strategy that people can like take part in and like take responsibility for getting us closer to a Green New Deal. Like a world where we're like embodying the values of a Green New Deal.
I think we can't just barrel into states that have their own strategy and have their own autonomy for national interest. And that feels really close to my heart. I'm like, we can't run electoral campaigns that aren't actively supporting leaders on the ground to grow and to lead those campaigns.
When I was a hub leader, I had a lot of concerns over if I was actually listened to by these people working at the national organization. Did my voice actually matter in the strategy that we're setting? And that's real. That's a real fear, because I think, no movement is perfect, and at the same time we have to acknowledge the ways that we've come up short. And now, finding myself in this position of like a team that's doing like really, really big things for this movement, I'm also reckoning with the fact that, wow, a lot of these people in this retreat have the experiences of running a hub, being community organizers, working at the very local level, working at the small level, and we are all undertaking those experiences and those values into the work that we're doing nationally. And so I hope that those of us in our movement can see the love that we're doing this with, the commitment to them that we're doing this with, and also recognizing us as people who not only want to support them in the endeavors that we know can create a movement to win, but also that we are them. We are a team that represents the totality of what Sunrise Movement is and what it strives to be.